On a tiny planet, one rose could change everything he loved. Dear children, have you ever wondered, if you had a tiny planet of your own, what would you do? A round little world, no bigger than a house, with only you, a few flowers, some soil, and stars stretching up toward the sky. This is exactly where our hero, the little prince, lived, on a tiny asteroid called B-612. His planet was so small that when the little prince nudged his chair and faced the horizon, he could watch the same sunset over and over again. On days when he felt sad, he would say, "Let's watch another sunset," move his chair slightly, and watch the sky change its colors. Imagine, we on Earth wait hours just to see one sunset. Yet the little prince could watch dozens in a single day. But life on his tiny planet was not just fun and games, because even in small worlds, there are big responsibilities. Every morning, as soon as he woke up, the little prince cleaned his 3 little volcanoes. 2 were alive and smoking. 1 had long been extinct. But the little prince still swept it clean, keeping it tidy. Because no task should ever be neglected just for being small. Then came the garden, the soil itself. The little prince watched carefully for sprouts and tried to understand them. Because among ordinary weeds, sometimes a very dangerous type of tree could appear. The baobab. Baobabs grow so strong that, if not removed in time, their roots could tear his tiny planet apart. That's why the little prince patiently pulled out the tiny sprouts every morning, protecting his planet. It never felt boring to him, because he knew very well how even small actions could create great results. And when his chores were done, it was time for his favorite thing, gazing at the sky and dreaming. He would lose himself in the stars, wondering who might live far away. Could there be someone like me on other planets? He would ask himself. One morning, something different happened. An unusual sprout emerged from the soil. It was no ordinary weed, thin, delicate, and very special. The little prince watched it with great curiosity. Days passed, the sprout grew, and then one morning, as the sun rose, a red, beautiful rose bloomed. But this was no ordinary flower. The rose was unlike any other. She was delicate, a little proud. Sometimes she pretended to be sick. Sometimes she seemed to say to the little prince, "You must protect me more." The little prince gave her a glass dome, a little curtain to protect her from the wind, and watered her regularly. Still, he often felt puzzled. She is hard to understand, but I think this rose is very special. And the rose knew that the little prince had grown attached to her. He sometimes felt sad, sometimes angry, but deep inside, he loved his rose dearly. Because this rose was the one and only on his planet. And so passed the days of the little prince on B-612. Mornings began with responsibility, the day continued with dreams, and evenings ended with the colors of the sky. But deep in his heart, the little prince felt something, as if this tiny planet was now too small for him. He wanted to see new things, meet new friends. One day, he would leave his planet and embark on a journey through the endless universe. But that was another story. For now, we have seen the little prince's life on the small surface of B-612, filled with responsibility, dreams, and love. So, children, if you had your own little planet, what would you bring with you? A flower, a book, or perhaps a beloved toy? In the little prince's story, everything seems small, but the greatest thing is the heart. Remember, sometimes a small task can make a huge difference. Keep following the little prince's magical adventures. In the next episode, he will visit new planets and meet surprising friends. Don't miss it. If you enjoyed this episode, give it a like and subscribe to join the journey.